investigation rests solely in their hands. Her inquiry causes her to stumble into shady dealings that question the integrity and honor of her own crew. And the next one is Blind Descent. This one was very hard for me to read. I love caves. I love spelunking. And Mike and I even went to Carlsbad Caverns National Park this past summer. But in this, her friend is exploring a non-public portion of the cave where are housed these very delicate, lacy cave figures. While she's there, her foot gets caught in a crevice and she breaks a leg. But she sends for Anna and she tells Anna, "This was not an accident. I was pushed." So when Anna gets there, she is enjoying the open spaces of Colorado when she receives an urgent call. A young woman has been injured while exploring the cave in New Mexico's Carlsbad Cavern Park. Before she can be pulled to safety, she sends for her friend Anna. Only one problem: a crushing fear of confined spaces has kept Anna out in the open her whole life. And she describes in great detail these dark, closed places inside this cave. And when she's trying to rescue this friend of hers, a horrible tragedy happens. And ooh, it was hard to read. When I read a book, I live it. It's just like I'm watching it on a movie screen. And I could just see this happening, and I could scarcely breathe in some parts of the book. But it was good. It was page turn. Okay, Liberty Falling. This is probably one of my least favorites. It takes place at the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. And I thought I would enjoy this one just because of its setting, because Mike's mother probably came through Ellis Island when she came to this country from Czechoslovakia via Germany and then into the United States. But I don't know, it was hard for me to get into this book. There's peril beneath the watchful eyes of the lady. Rooming with a friend and fellow park ranger in close quarters on Liberty Island, the small strip of land that is home to Lady Liberty, Anna spends her free time exploring the Grand Monument and the crumbling, overgrown, and eerie ruins in the unrestored sections of nearby Ellis Island. But the peace she seeks there is shattered when she finds herself among the crowd gathered at the lady's base, staring at the broken body of a teenager who fell or was pushed to her death. Deep South. This is a favorite because it takes place in Mississippi. Anna was actually a park ranger on the Natchez Trace in the southern part of the state. And this is one of two books that is set along the Natchez Trace. And she gets into our southern culture pretty deeply in these books. Park ranger Anna Pigeon stumbles upon a gruesome murder with frightening racial overtones. The handwritten sign on the tree said it all: repent. For Anna, this should have been reason enough to turn back for her beloved Mesa Verde. Instead, she heads for the Natchez Trace Parkway and the promotion that awaits her. Almost immediately, she finds herself in the midst of controversy. As the new district ranger, she faces resentment so extreme her ability to do her job may be compromised, and her life may very well be in danger. She goes home one day, starts to get out of her car, and there is an alligator in her garage, and it bites the leg off her dog.
Oh.
trying to protect her. But all thoughts of personal safety are set aside with the discovery of a young girl's body in a country cemetery, a sheet around her head, a noose around her neck. Blood lure. I believe you said you got this one recently. Straddling the border between Montana and Canada lies the Waterton Glacier International Peace Park. Anna's home away from home when she is sent on a cross-training assignment to study grizzly bears. And this one gets pretty grizzly. Along with bear researcher John Rand and a volatile, unpredictable teenage boy, Anna hikes the backcountry seeking signs of bear. But the tables are turned on their second night out when one of the beasts comes looking for them. Daybreak finds the boy missing, a camper mutilated, and Anna caught in a grip of fear, painfully aware that her lifelong bond with nature has inexplicably snapped. Say that twice in a row. Okay, hunting season. This is her other Natchez Trace book. The quiet, beautiful autumn on Mississippi's Natchez Trace is swiftly shattered when Anna answers the call to Mount Locust, once a working plantation and an inn, now a tourist spot. But the man Anna finds in an old bedroom is no tourist in distress. He's nearly naked and very dead, his body bearing marks consistent with sex games gone awry. On a writing table nearby is an open Bible with ominous passages circled in red. There are secrets that prominent men in this God-fearing country wish to keep under wraps, and Anna has stumbled into a nest of them. She also stumbles into a husband in one of these Mississippi books, and I think it's the second one, it might have been the first. She marries an Episcopal priest who is also the sheriff of the small town that his parish is in. Okay, flashback. I liked this one, but this is one of those that parts in the present, parts in the past, and you're flipping back and forth practically every other chapter. Anna takes a post as a temporary supervisory ranger on remote Garden Key in Dry Tortugas National Park, a small grouping of tiny islands in a natural harbor 70 miles off Key West. This island paradise has secrets it would keep, not just in the present, but in shadows from its gritty past, when it served as a prison for the Lincoln conspirators during and after the Civil War. Here, on this last lake of the United States in a giant crumbling fortress, Anna has little company except for the occasional sunburned tourist or unruly shrimper. When her sister Molly sends her a pack of letters from a great-great-aunt who lived at the fort with her husband, a career soldier, Anna's fantasy life is filled with visions of this long time ago. And when she has these imaginings, that's the part where you go back into the past. She figures out things that happened then. Okay, high country. This one takes place in Yosemite. It's fall in the Sierra Mountains, not Yosemite, where is it? High country, where? Yeah, it is Yosemite. It's fall in the Sierra Mountains, and Anna Pigeon is slinging hash in Yosemite National Park's historic Wahine Hotel, that may not be pronounced correctly. 4 young people, all seasonal park employees, have disappeared. And 2 weeks of work by crack search and rescue teams have failed to turn up a single clue. Investigators are unsure as to whether the 4 went AWOL for reasons of their own or died in the park. Needing an out-of-park ranger to work undercover, Anna is detailed to dining room duty. But after a week of waiting tables, she knows the missing employees are only the first indication of a sickness threatening the park. Her 20-something roommates give up their party girl ways and panic. Her new restaurant colleagues regard her with suspicion and fear. Yet when Anna's life is threatened and her temporary supervisor turns a deaf ear, she follows the scent of the evil, taking a solo hike up a snowy trail to the high country seeking answers. What awaits her is a nightmare of death and greed, and perhaps her final adventure. This one is really scary at the end when she confronts the whodunit guy. Okay, Hard Truth. Hard Truth. This is actually the first of the books I read. Another thing I like about Anna is you see the same characters again, or she references characters that she's already written about, and that gives a continuity to her books that I really like. She introduces these characters and then we meet them again in a later book. Just days after marrying Sheriff Paul Davidson, that's her Mississippi Episcopal priest sheriff husband, Anna Pigeon moves to Colorado to assume her new post as district ranger at Rocky Mountain National Park, when 2 of 3 children who had gone missing from a religious retreat reappear. Anna's investigation brings her face to face with a paranoid sect and with a villain so evil he'll make the hairs on the back of your neck